Today, I have a moral compass. I believe in doing things right. Back then, I didn't care about nothing or nobody except getting high. I really hated that person that I was. And today I love who I am and I love what my life is.
This is a true story.
My negative choices started really, really young.
I didn't have any friends that were sober.
I didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I think I'm going to be a drug addict today.
I didn't want to feel the pain I was feeling anymore.
I needed it. I had to have it.
I'm not in control. It's never enough.
He's like, here, try this. I almost lost my life.
That is my main motivator.
I don't want to go do this no more.
We do recover in Vermilion County. There's nobody who can tell me any different.
Viewer discretion is advised. The content in this video addresses sensitive topics related to drugs and alcohol and may not be suitable for all audiences. This content is intended for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered as personal medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment recommendations. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional or a substance use disorder specialist for personalized guidance. The views and opinions expressed are those of the individuals presenting them and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Vermilion County Public Health or the Vermilion County Mental Health 708 Board.
Hi, it's Jim Russell, hosting another episode of Roads to Recovery. We're telling the story of people who have been involved in substance use disorder and who are trying to get their lives back. Sometimes people got involved in using and abusing a substance and becoming addicted to it, where they liked it. They enjoyed the high. But sometimes that choice led to some dark pathways and some destinations that you have never chosen for yourself. And that's what we're going to hear from Audey and his story.
Growing up, we lived on a farm. We didn't have running water, didn't have electricity at first. We would slaughter our own cattle, chickens, and hogs. Problem with my parents and my grandparents was they were always partying and drinking, fishing. Mom and Dad sitting around partying. Sometimes I'd clean up the beer cans and, take a drink. And I remember when I was 6 years old and I broke my arm. Here's how Grandma handled that. Went to the doctor, got the cast on and stuff, and instead of getting pain medication, she'd put Jack Daniels in my Pepsi. That's what I seen growing up. I thought that was life, how things were supposed to be. Everybody that's riding, help us stay safe. Father, I pray for take care of all of us and help us do what we need to do and carry the message of recovery to the other addicts out there still suffering. Amen. I was very intelligent. I was straight A student. I was on the honor roll all the time. My mom was always bragging about how smart I was, being on the honor roll and being different. I was kind of shunned a lot. Then we moved to the big city of Danville. I was all innocent, and I didn't know any of this stuff the big city had. I'd never seen it. There was like 30, 40 kids in a classroom instead of 10 or 12. This black guy kept bothering me, and I thought, man, I decked him. I punched him out and then got off the bus, and I was in trouble, and my dad whooped my butt because I hit somebody. I said, well, he hit me first, and it doesn't matter. You can't be fighting, and so you really had to toughen up. I'd start carrying a knife because there was a lot of rivalry going on in school between blacks and whites and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And instead of being the best at school, I wanted to be the best, biggest, smartest, tough guy, and I was. And everything was just different. We drank a lot and never did any drugs until somebody, hey, you guys ought to try this marijuana. We got a hold of some good stuff, and oh my goodness. It was like all the lights turned on or something. I was charged up. Started off marijuana, and then other drugs, acid, speed. I was doing it because I liked it, and I liked what it did. I didn't have time to do everything that I wanted to do, so I dropped out of school so I had more time to party and get high and hang out selling drugs to school on the street corner and trying to be the coolest guy there was and the toughest guy. I got to a point where I needed more and more. I couldn't get what I needed out of a little bit, and then more and more. I needed more drugs. I mean, more alcohol to get the same feeling. And you started feeling like if you didn't have it, you didn't feel right. I needed it. I had to have it, or I didn't feel normal. And that's got a lot to do with the endorphins being released out of the brain. You just keep getting numbed out, and you can't feel, and just getting disoriented, and you can't think, can't function. Put more, trying to get that good feeling. I was always out of control, doing crazy stuff, getting in trouble. I ended up in prison 3 different times. I went through treatment 7 times, not really going because I wanted to get clean, because I had to go, or a judge sent me, or to save my marriage. I didn't want to get clean. I wanted to learn how to use drugs and be okay. I never wanted to stop. Hey. I had good jobs. I was a pipe fitter, pipe welder, and an iron worker. I could make up to $100,000 a year. I made good money, and then I dealt drugs to make my drug money. I would buy dope before food for the family when I was using. I spent so much money on dope. So, because I had it to spend. My family could have had so much better things. I was very unstable, okay? There's one incident where I was so unstable, I wanted to die. So down in South Carolina, went out in front of a 4-lane highway, run out in the middle, laid down the road. I wanted to get run over. First car that stops was an ambulance. They loaded me up in the back, take me down to the mental hospital. The funny thing about drug addiction and insanity is it runs so hand in hand. Later on, I was in projects down there, and I got into it with some of the people, and so I had an AR-15. They pissed me off, so I just cut a slit in the screen, got the AR-15, I started shooting. Oh, they were running everywhere. I was blowing windows out of cars and shooting their tires out, and here come the SWAT team. Oh my God. And they called the house. I answered the phone. They said, shooter, they said, you need to put your weapon down, surrender, and come out, or we're going to kill you. So that's what I had to do. So I made up this big old story about I was from another planet, and it was like Saturn, of like the Texans of this solar system. And I was telling them all about that, and they were laughing. They thought it was funny as hell. And I had a really good story. I had it laid out. I was telling it, and then they sent me to this big mental hospital over in Columbia, South Carolina. Oh my God. All locked down, first day there. And this guy takes a chair and runs and goes out the window with the chair in front of him, hits the ground, takes off trying to escape. I'm like, wow, what have I got myself into? So I was there for like 4 or 5 months, because I wasn't telling them about the drugs and alcohol, just all my crazy thoughts. Once I told them about the drugs and alcohol, so that changed the whole story. Then it's like, you're not crazy, you're a drug addict. We're going to send you to a treatment center. When I got to the treatment center, it wasn't a locked facility anymore. I called my brother. I said, dude, you need to come down here and get me out of this state. Basically got away with it, pretty much. I'm not wanted down there or nothing. I didn't get clean for 2 years after that. I still out using and being crazy as hell.
I'm not no good, but I'll try.
Oh, look at you. That was a good shot.
Come on through.
I made to tell this, because this was probably the biggest motivator. I was dealing crystal meth. I was wiring money out to California, and I was getting in ounces of crystal meth and dealing it. I'd get it through FedEx, and they intercepted the package. First they called and said, oh, your package got delayed. You need to come down and pick it up. So here I am. I sent my wife, I go get that. And, you know, she's okay. She went to go get it and they arrested her. Then they come out and arrested me. We were facing a lot of time in prison. I filed a motion for a fast and speedy trial and they run past the timeline on that. And oh my God, it was a big deal. I made front page headline news. They had to throw out the charges and they couldn't charge me with it. They had to dismiss it and they couldn't bring it up ever again. And after that, that's when I went to treatment. I keep doing it, just bigger and bigger things, crazier and crazier. It's time. I need to get some help. I gotta stop.
Come on.
I got clean. I was working the program, following it, working the steps, got a sponsor. I was doing all really good, and I was so charged up. I was like, this is the most awesome thing I've ever done. I'm so excited. I got a good job. I'm paying my bills. I was saving money. I had money saved up for a down payment on a house. And they started telling me, you know, why do you keep going to those meetings? You're okay. You're working. You got money. You don't need to go. And I started thinking maybe they're right, and I quit doing it. My attitude changed. Got in a fight with my boss. I got fired from my job. So I'm like, I'm not going home. And here I am, coming up with that thing that kills more addicts than anything. I thought I can just do one and be all right, and this will fix everything. I did that, and it was like everything changed back, just like it was before I quit. I started shooting dope every day. Took all the money I had saved up for the house, went out and did all that, and I couldn't stop. When I started, I couldn't stop, and I destroyed everything one more time. And then me and my buddies, we were all gonna go do this job, and big time. We were gonna make some money. May 3rd, 1991, they all went and did the job, and I backed out. I went to a meeting. They all went to prison. I've been clean ever since. I don't want to go back to that life anymore. I know that no matter how long I've been clean, no matter what I do, if I use drugs or alcohol, I will be transformed back to where I was again. There's no cure for it, but we can live in recovery. It's more than just what you do in an NA meeting. It's what you do at home with your family, what you do at your job, what you do in the community. Serving the good of people is what it's about. Focus. There you go. Yeah, too much.
Slow down.
Damn it, Eddie. All right. Yeah, we'll build you a snowman with that. I started seeing all the things and the blessings that come from living life in recovery. It was like this miracle that happened to me, and I didn't feel like I deserved it most of the time, but I got it, and it just kept happening. I could just do things that I never really thought I could do. I'm just so glad that it changed. I mean, just remember, what's my purpose in life? What am I doing, you know? I think today I know. My job is to help other people and do God's will.
Audey is my friend and sponsor. He stuck with me. I've had 10 years a couple of times, and I blowed it, and he never give up on me. That's one good thing I can say. He's my real friend.
Come on. That sucker hooked right.
He'd call me to play golf. I knew what he was doing. And I wouldn't even answer the phone. I was so sorry, you know. It just, but now I'm on the right path, and with his help and everybody else's help, I'll stay on the right path. And, you know, I'm thankful today for what I have, and thank you, Audey.
What we're doing here at Step Recovery Center, this is the best. I'll be doing this the rest of my life.
So why this effort? Why these stories? We're telling these stories, all different stories, with all different roads that these folks are on to recovery, to help you know and understand that recovery is possible. Whether it's you, it's a family member, it's a friend, it's a coworker, it is possible for someone who's struggling with substance use disorder to get help. We want to encourage people to reach out and get the help that they need. If you or someone you know and love is struggling with substance use disorder, don't just sit back and watch it happen. Call us here at the Mental Health 708 Board at 217-443-3500. We don't provide direct services in our office, but we can connect you with several different agencies in our community who do provide those services. 2 points of emphasis. Everybody's journey is different. No one's going to look exactly alike. And then the second point is, don't forget, recovery is possible and things can get better. And there are people in this community, there are people in your family and friend circle who want to help you on your own personal road to recovery.